What's up, everybody? It's your man right here, the one and only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster, one of the original road warlords, and as always, bring you the knowledge, drop the science in this industry of what we call trucking. I'm doing this particular video to speak upon some of the issues, again, that you may have with your Freightliner Cascadia. My truck is a Freightliner Cascadia 2013 with the 13-speed Eaton Fuller transmission. And so, this video is going to be covering if you have a delayed reaction, to your pre-selector, going into your high gear. So what happens with these shifters a lot of times and stuff is that, first let me say something, is that do you even know what this is? Do you even shift, bro? Do you even shift, bro? I mean, really, do people know what this is right here and stuff? What's the functionality of it? What was the whole purpose of it being in the truck anyway? But for those of you stuff that do know what this is, then I hope that this video is helpful. So let's continue. Anyway, this is the Eaton Fuller 13-speed transmission in your Freightliner Cascadia. And so what happens is that if you run into an issue where you have a delayed reaction to your pre-selector, before you take it to a shop and they start telling you that your piston is wear out in your transmission, which causes your delayed reaction, and therefore they have to drop the transmission and replace the pistons and the rings and stuff in there, which is going to cost typically cost anywhere between $1,200 to $1,500. Before you have to do all that and stuff, we go into the simple things. Now what happens is that you may have a delayed reaction on account that you don't have enough air pressure. You don't have enough air pressure at the time when you go into your high side, and because of that delayed reaction, typically you got to force it into the high side again and stuff before it before it catches on and stuff. And so anyway, I took my shifter apart. and stuff, by removing the rubber boot at the bottom part of the shifter, and then it consists of two Allen wrench nuts. You have one on the back, and you have one on the front. Once you take those loose and stuff, then this part right here slides down, and this is where you're at the bottom part of the shifter. Okay, now this screw right here and stuff comes loose at the bottom. If you're trying to get your shifter and stuff to adjust properly, you need a 19-inch wrench. Well, you need a 19-inch wrench. And so what happens is that you tighten the bolt up and stuff. You first get your shifter adjusted to a point to where it's straight, and then you take the 19-inch wrench and tighten this bolt up and stuff to the left, and then that will get your shifter tight. So before you get your shifter adjusted, as you're getting your shifter adjusted, this is the time right here and stuff to check your hoses. And so this particular hose right here and stuff, it works itself loose sometimes, and so it doesn't have, because of it being delayed, it means that the air isn't flowing properly enough to where it can send your transmission to the high side once you hit your pre-selector. And so that consists of making sure that the hose and stuff is connected properly. Now what happens again is that when your shifter gets loose, that the hose and stuff gets loose too and stuff. In fact, sometimes it may even get tangled up, which causes your delayed reaction. So it's just simply adjusting your gear. It's just simply making sure that you have it adjusted, making sure that you have the hose and stuff connected properly, and then that will fix your problem and stuff. And so after that, it's just simply putting the two screws back in, putting two screws back in and stuff, then take the boot, hook that back up, and that will fix the problem and stuff there. Now, okay, for some of you that may want to change your shifter, your 13-speed transmission, the first thing you have to do, you follow this process right here and stuff to remove this. Now, as you can see, is that the pre-selector keeps this right here from it prevents this and stuff from coming off completely. And so what you have to do in order to get this removed, you know, if you're talking about changing this into a chrome fitting, that you have to take the very shifter loose. Okay, now inside the shifter, this piece right here and stuff, you have to pry it open with some kind of you know, something that can get in between these sections right here and stuff. And so once you take this off, then you have two star wrench screws that's inside there. So once you unscrew these, then this top part of your shifter comes off, which means that now you have just this right here exposed. And so what you do is that with that, you just take it off section by section. You take this part off first. You take off this range selector second. And so this range selector, it consists of two springs and a ball bearing. Be extra careful when taking this piece off, because if you decide that you want to change this into chrome and you go get the chrome fitting, it doesn't come with anything except the very chrome fitting itself. So you are going to need the metal piece, you're going to need the ball bearing that's inside here on the left side, and you're going to need the fixture with the two springs on the right side to you know, to make sure that your shifter and stuff moves properly, your range selector moves properly once you throw it on the high side, if you have a 13-speed transmission. Okay, well, once you remove that, then it's taking these Allen screws. You take these apart here and stuff, and then that is what will release your pre-selector. Once you release your pre-selector, then you know you can slide this off here. Typically these don't go bad and stuff, but again, you have to be extra careful. Make sure that you don't cross thread them. Make sure that you put it back in properly. So you know, if you want to you know, some people go ahead and stuff and change, you know, the very shifter itself and get it customized and stuff. You know, it's very simple. But again, you know, if you have a 13 or 18 speed 13, 15 or 18 speed transmission, and how you know the difference is because 13 speed is red, your 13 speed is red, your 15 speed is blue, and your 18 speed is gray. Okay, sometimes stuff, you know, well, I won't put Super 10 transmissions and stuff in there, you know, because Super 10s and stuff, you know, they are the old Eaton Fuller transmission style and stuff. You either got your standard 10 or your lightning 10 and stuff, but you know, that's another video for another time. But again, you know, your 13, 15, and 18 speeds, range selectors here, like I said, be very careful when removing these, because it consists of a ball bearing on the left side. It consists of a metal slide piece with two springs on the right, and they all go inside of the range selector. So once you remove this, just take it upside down. You know, you'll see the pieces in there and stuff. If you replace this with the chrome piece, it's just simply taking the old parts out, putting the new one inside there, and then following the process in reverse. You know, taking the pre-selector off and stuff is what's necessary in order to get this bottom piece. You know, if you want that piece chrome and stuff, you know, again, you have to be very careful, take your time with it, and you can get the job and stuff done. Okay, so, and that pretty much covers it and stuff. You know, while you have the shifter and stuff loose, make sure that you check your hoses. Make sure that you check your hose and stuff. If you have a delayed reaction on your range selector, it could be the same thing and stuff, because what happens is that when your shifter comes loose, is that it comes out, you know, the hoses come out, or they come out, you know, your shifter comes out of adjustment, so does your hoses. So just make sure that your hoses and stuff are connected properly by just pressing up on them. You know, make sure that you don't have any leaks that's coming from this and stuff, you know, and that should typically fix your problem. Before you go to the shop and have to spend $1,500 on something that, you know, could just take a few minutes and stuff, you know, an Allen wrench with, you know, with the star fitting and stuff like that. So, I hope this video was helpful. This is your man right here, the one and only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster. Telling you as always, continue your research, fact-find studies. Honest on your skills every day. Until next time we talk, next time we meet, be safe, be easy, and peace out.